NEC Section 220.61 addresses the requirements for neutral conductors. It generally stipulates that the neutral conductor must be at least the same size as the largest phase conductor, but not smaller than a 1/0 American wire gauge copper conductor. Now, in the scenario presented with a 1000 amp service, using 3 500 kc mil conductors per phase and separate conduits, the question arises whether a 3/0 conductor is sufficient for the neutral in each conduit. NEC Section 310.15b3 offers some clarification on this matter, specifically regarding resistance heating loads. This section provides an exception to the minimum size requirement for the neutral conductor when dealing with resistance heating. According to this exception, the neutral conductor is not required to be the same size as the largest phase conductor. Instead, it must not be smaller than a 1/0 American wire gauge copper conductor or 1/0 American wire gauge aluminum conductor. Therefore, in the given scenario, a 3/0 conductor is acceptable for the neutral conductor in each conduit, even though it is smaller than the 500 kc mil phase conductors. It's important to remember several additional considerations when installing the neutral conductor. Firstly, the neutral conductor must be connected to the grounded portion of the transformer secondary winding. This connection is crucial for providing a return path for unbalanced currents and maintaining a stable voltage reference. Secondly, the neutral conductor must be insulated for the same voltage rating as the phase conductors. This insulation ensures that the neutral conductor can withstand the same voltage stresses as the phase conductors and prevents insulation breakdown or short circuits. Thirdly, the neutral conductor must be protected against overcurrent by a circuit breaker or fuse rated not greater than the ampacity of the neutral conductor. This overcurrent protection device safeguards the neutral conductor from damage due to excessive current flow, such as during a fault condition. In this specific case, with 3/0 conductors serving as the neutral, each conductor's ampacity needs to be considered to ensure it can safely carry the anticipated neutral current. The neutral current in a 3-phase, 4-wire system with a balanced load is theoretically zero. However, in reality, loads are often unbalanced, leading to some current flow in the neutral conductor. Moreover, harmonic currents, particularly the third harmonic and its multiples, can contribute significantly to the neutral current even in systems with balanced linear loads. Therefore, it is essential to calculate the expected neutral current based on the anticipated load imbalance and harmonic content. If the calculated neutral current exceeds the ampacity of a single 3/0 conductor, it may be necessary to upsize the neutral conductor or provide additional neutral conductors to ensure adequate capacity. The ampacity of a 3/0 conductor depends on the conductor material, insulation type, and installation conditions such as the ambient temperature and the number of conductors in the conduit. It is crucial to consult the NEC ampacity tables to determine the appropriate ampacity for the specific installation conditions. Additionally, it is important to consider dating factors if multiple conductors are installed in the same conduit or if the ambient temperature is high. These dating factors reduce the allowable ampacity of the conductors to prevent overheating and insulation damage. Furthermore, it is crucial to ensure that the neutral conductor is properly grounded to the grounding electrode system. The grounding electrode system provides a low impedance path for fault currents to return to the source, which helps to trip over current protective devices and clear faults quickly. The grounding electrode system typically consists of a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod, ground plate, or metal water pipe connected to the neutral conductor and the equipment grounding conductors. The size of the grounding electrode conductor must be in accordance with the NEC requirements based on the size of the service entrance conductors. In addition to the neutral conductor, equipment grounding conductors are also essential for providing a safe and reliable electrical system. Equipment grounding conductors connect the non-current carrying metal parts of electrical equipment, such as enclosures, raceways, and motor frames, to the grounding electrode system. This provides a low impedance path for fault currents to return to the source, which helps to protect personnel from electric shock hazards. The size of the equipment grounding conductors must be in accordance with the NEC requirements based on the size of the overcurrent protective devices protecting the circuits. When installing the conductors in the conduits, it is crucial to follow proper installation practices to ensure the conductors are not damaged or stressed. The conductors should be pulled through the conduit smoothly without excessive force or sharp bends. Lubricant can be used to reduce friction and prevent damage to the insulation. The conductors should be properly supported and secured within the conduits to prevent them from sagging or chafing. The conduit should be properly sealed to prevent moisture or other contaminants from entering. The conduit fill requirements specified in the NEC must be adhered to. Overfilling conduits can lead to overheating of conductors due to reduced heat dissipation. This can lead to premature insulation failure. The NEC specifies the maximum percentage of conduit cross-sectional area that can be occupied by conductors. The allowable conduit fill percentage varies depending on the number of conductors in the conduit and the type of conduit. When calculating the conduit fill, the overall diameter of the conductors, including the insulation, must be considered. The NEC provides tables listing the dimensions of various types of conductors. In the specific case of 3 500 kc mil conductors and one 3/0 conductor in a 4-inch conduit, the conduit fill must be calculated to ensure it does not exceed the allowable limit. If the conduit fill exceeds the limit, a larger conduit size may be required. Furthermore, when installing conductors in parallel, as in this case with 3 conductors per phase, it is essential to follow the NEC requirements for parallel conductors. The NEC specifies that conductors can be installed in parallel under certain conditions, such as when the ampacity of a single conductor is insufficient to carry the load current. When conductors are installed in parallel, they must be of the same material, have the same insulation type, be the same length, and be terminated in the same manner. The overcurrent protective devices protecting the parallel conductors must be sized to protect the conductors from overcurrent. The NEC also requires that the parallel conductors be arranged in a manner that ensures equal current sharing among the conductors. This can be achieved by using symmetrical arrangements or by transposing the conductors at regular intervals. In addition to the NEC requirements, it is essential to follow any applicable local codes and regulations. Local codes may have more stringent requirements than the NEC, and it is crucial to comply with these requirements to ensure a safer and compliant electrical installation. It is also important to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector to ensure that the electrical installation meets all applicable requirements. A qualified professional can provide guidance on the design and installation of the electrical system and can help to identify and address any potential issues. In summary, while NEC Section 220.61 generally requires the neutral conductor to be at least the same size as the largest phase conductor, NEC Section 310.15b3 provides an exception for resistance heating loads. This exception allows for a smaller neutral conductor, provided it is not smaller than a 1/0 American wire gauge copper or aluminum conductor. Therefore, a 3/0 conductor is acceptable for the neutral in this specific application, given that the load is primarily resistance heating and the neutral conductor meets the minimum size requirement. However, it is crucial to consider the expected neutral current, the ampacity of the 3/0 conductor, and other factors such as conduit fill and conductor rating to ensure a safe and compliant electrical installation. Proper grounding and bonding practices are also essential for protecting personnel and equipment from electrical hazards. Finally, consulting with a qualified electrical professional is always recommended to ensure that the electrical system is designed and installed in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. The selection of appropriate conductors for electrical services is a crucial aspect of electrical engineering, directly impacting the safety and reliability of the system. In the specific scenario involving a 1000 amp service with a 208/120 volt Y configuration and resistance heating loads, the decision regarding the neutral conductor size necessitates a comprehensive understanding of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, particularly sections 220.61 and 310.15b3, as previously discussed. Let's delve deeper into the factors influencing the selection of the neutral conductor size. Firstly, the fundamental principle governing neutral conductor sizing, as outlined in NEC 220.6C1, mandates that the neutral conductor should possess a current carrying capacity equivalent to or exceeding that of the largest phase conductor. This requirement stems from the need to accommodate potential imbalances in phase currents within the three-phase system. In scenarios where the load is perfectly balanced, the neutral conductor theoretically carries minimal current. However, in real-world applications, achieving perfect balance is often unattainable due to variations in individual load demands and equipment characteristics. Consequently, the neutral conductor must be capable of safely handling the resultant imbalance current. Secondly, the presence of nonlinear loads, such as electronic devices and power supplies, introduces harmonic currents into the electrical system. These harmonic currents, particularly the third harmonic and its multiples, exhibit a unique characteristic of adding in the neutral conductor, rather than cancelling out like fundamental frequency currents. This phenomenon can lead to a significant increase in neutral current, even in systems that appear to be relatively balanced at the fundamental frequency. Therefore, when nonlinear loads constitute a substantial portion of the overall load, it becomes imperative to carefully analyze the harmonic content and appropriately size the neutral conductor to accommodate the elevated current levels. Thirdly, the exception provided in NEC 310.15b3 for resistance heating loads introduces a degree of flexibility in neutral conductor sizing. Resistance heating loads, by their very nature, are considered to be linear and balanced. This implies that they do not generate significant harmonic currents and contribute minimally to neutral current. As a result, the NEC permits the use of a reduced-size neutral conductor for resistance heating loads, provided that it meets certain minimum requirements. Specifically, the neutral conductor must be sized no smaller than the minimum size specified in NEC 250.24 cone, which typically corresponds to 1/0 American wire gauge copper conductor or 1/0 American wire gauge aluminum conductor for services of this magnitude. Fourthly, the ampacity of the selected neutral conductor must be carefully evaluated in relation to the anticipated neutral current. The ampacity, or current carrying capacity, of a conductor is determined by several factors, including the conductor material, insulation type, ambient temperature, and the presence of other conductors in close proximity. The NEC provides ampacity tables that list the allowable ampacities for various conductor types under specific conditions. However, it is crucial to apply appropriate deterring factors when conductors are installed in conduits or raceways, where heat dissipation may be restricted. Furthermore, the ambient temperature in the vicinity of the conductors must be taken into account, as elevated temperatures can significantly reduce the ampacity. Fifthly, the physical installation of the neutral conductor must adhere to established best practices to ensure safety and reliability. The neutral conductor must be properly supported and secured within the conduit or raceway to prevent mechanical stress and potential damage. The connections to the neutral busbar and equipment grounding system must be made with appropriately sized connectors and taught to the manufacturer's specifications. The insulation of the neutral conductor must be carefully inspected for any signs of damage or degradation. Sixthly, the equipment grounding system plays a vital role in providing a low impedance path for fault currents to return to the source, thereby facilitating the rapid operation of overcurrent protection devices. The equipment grounding conductors must be sized in accordance with NEC 250.122 and connected to all non-current carrying metal parts of electrical equipment. The grounding electrode system must be installed in accordance with NEC 250.50 and connected to the neutral busbar to establish a common ground reference. Seventhly, the overcurrent protection devices protecting the neutral conductor must be carefully selected to coordinate with the ampacity of the conductor. The overcurrent protection devices must be capable of interrupting fault currents within a specified time frame to prevent damage to the conductor and equipment. The selection of overcurrent protection devices must also consider the potential for nuisance tripping due to inrush currents or transient overvoltages. Eighthly, the applicable local codes and regulations must be consulted to ensure compliance with all jurisdictional requirements. Local codes may impose more stringent requirements than the NEC, and it is essential to adhere to these requirements to obtain the necessary permits and approvals. Finally, it is strongly recommended to engage a qualified electrical engineer to perform a comprehensive load analysis and conduct a thorough review of the electrical system design. An experienced electrical engineer can provide valuable insights and recommendations to ensure that the neutral conductor is appropriately sized and installed to meet the specific requirements of the application. In conclusion, the selection of the neutral conductor size for a 1000 amp service with resistance heating loads requires a careful consideration of several factors, including the principles outlined in NEC 220.61 and 310.15b3, the presence of nonlinear loads, the ampacity of the conductor, the physical installation, the equipment grounding system, the overcurrent protection devices, the applicable local codes, and the expertise of a qualified electrical engineer. By meticulously addressing these considerations, it is possible to ensure a safe, reliable, and code-compliant electrical system.